gonna start this video off because later on a friend of mine to join us so I can chit chat with him a little bit. What's going on? What we got there? Alright. Who we got here? How's everybody going? How's everything going out there tonight? How's everything going? I get in here because he's the main one that I'm waiting on. Alright. We got two people now. Who's the second victim? There's two people watching right now. Courtney. Let's see. What was that? Alright. Something about the weather. Awesome. Anyway, so what is up, guys? How's everything going out there tonight? We are back in Central Standard Time now. We're back in what I like to call Texas, but my wife hates it when I say that. But we're back in Texas now. Really don't like running Texas all that much, even though I do run Texas quite a bit. But so here's a couple things that I wanted to address on my live stream with some people and stuff like that. So we'll get it going here. Let's go and make it to Fort Worth yet, or Dallas? How far out are you? Okay. Are you shutting down now? Alright. Well then, we'll let you message, we'll wait on you to message me back here when you get parked in 6 miles, talking about what we're going to talk about tonight. So we're going to do a little Q&A session. I know I ain't got that many people in here just yet, but we're going to do a little Q&A with me and the few people that I've got watching here tonight until Trucker Dan gets parked there. You'll be able to do that in about 4 hours tomorrow, about 4 hours and 15 minutes at 70 miles an hour. If you average, let's say, just 60 miles an hour, 259 miles, you can do 240 miles in 4 hours and 10 minutes. So you should be able to do that, averaging 65 miles an hour in about 4 hours. Just off a quick math. I do everything based off of 60 miles an hour because that's what my truck averages, even though it only runs 68 miles run 68 miles an hour, your miles throughout the day, there's an average with how many hours you use and stuff that you can use that to figure it out. Like you can take your miles and look at how many hours you burned and take your miles and divide it by your hours and it'll give you your average speed for the day. Or like me, I can click on how fast the speedometer setting on a Ram McNally, that little circle that shows my speed. I can hit that and it'll bring up a big old display and it'll show my average speed, which is really cool. It'll show um, let's see, it's dead right now, it's off, but it'll show moving speed and average mile per hour. It'll show you how the fastest you've gotten during the day. It'll show it'll actually help you keep up with your maintenance on the truck too when you do that. I think that's a good sound of Kenworth right there. That's a good sound of W9. Anyways, but yeah, you can like set your maintenance intervals, like reset it and stuff like that. So it'll remind you when you're coming up due for like maintenance and stuff like that. It'll remind you. You can actually do like your fuel mileage, your average fuel mileage over your trips and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I don't take advantage of all the little features that my Ram McNally has. Little thing that I've got on there, it'll probably help me out a little bit on showing what the actual average fuel mileage of the truck is and stuff like that. So it'll probably help me out a little bit. So who all do we got watching this besides Trucker Dan and Courtney? Who else is in the live stream here with me? Well, now we done dropped down to 2. Oh well, we were up to 4. Dang. But yeah, Trucker Dan, I looked at it today, and the truck does pretty good for a day at 9 hours a day. My Qualcomm keeps track of the miles somewhere in the neighborhood of, I'm guessing, around 65 miles an hour today. And I'm not gonna do it. Trolls tonight, if we gonna get any at all. That is gonna be a good thing. I think they do it. So that's part of the reason why I don't go live anymore hardly. Just recently got back into doing it because I was like, well, it ain't fair to my YouTube subscribers, the people that actually, just because of some people out there wanting to bash on me, for me just to, jump off of YouTube, you know, I've been thinking about pulling the channel down due to it, but I mean, I enjoy doing YouTube so much. I mean, used to enjoy it a lot before I started getting trolled a lot. Back about 4 months ago, it was really bad, and so that's the reason why a lot of my videos, I ain't even pointing, making a video if you're just going to get trolled all the time. But I will say, um, you know, if, um, you know, you get, one bad apple out of the bunch, or, a couple people that just want to mess with you, that's fine. I don't care if you want to mess with me, but it's when you get to, you know, constantly, bashing me and stuff like that, Um, well, it's going good. I mean, it's just, you know, just just getting started, I ain't made a paycheck, if at all. So, it happens. I mean, especially around the holidays like this. I mean, freight rates drop. People expect you to haul the stuff for cheap, being that, it is the holiday season and they know you're going to want to get home, or they know that you need the freight to keep you moving. So, they're going to drop the rates because they know you're going to take it either way. So, um, hopefully the rates come back up. I mean, I've been doing pretty good so far on the rates, but you know, all the 3 day work weeks between, think from the start of right before Christmas, right after Christmas, right before Christmas, you do good up to the week before Christmas. Then the week of Christmas, you might be lucky to break even. Um, and then, go home, with a few $100s in your pocket after breaking even. Or you may lose your tail out here, your shirt and everything, trying to make a few dollars to go home with on Christmas, and you'll come back out either in the hole, or in the right at zero. And then you got to work 3 days of the week because some of the businesses and stuff like that. And then you run the 3 days Monday right before New Year's, like this time. So you might get to deliver something and might get to pick something up, but then you're sitting till Wednesday to deliver something, and then deliver 2 pieces of the load. But I still had 3 pieces on the trailer that I couldn't deliver until Wednesday, and I barely got them off before the business is closed. Going from Selkirk, New York. Well, John, what was it? Fultonville, New York, over to Selkirk. From Selkirk over to Hartford, Connecticut. From Hartford, Connecticut, over to Briarcliff Manor, New York. And I think I got the last one off right at 1 o'clock, which they close at 5. But if I to get me down into Ohio, and then went back up into Pennsylvania, picked up the load that I'm hauling right now, which pays phenomenally. He's 29, just under $3,000. It's like 29 and some change, and it comes from Pennsylvania, and it's going down here to Houston, and it's oil field pipe. And it's just over $2 a mile. I just can't remember the exact number on it. And the weird thing is I had to tarp it, but I had a guy help me tarp it. He put the tarps up on a tarp machine, lifted them up, had me drive under them, set one down, drive up, set the other one down. 25 feet long, and my tarps are only 27 foot long. So I could have tarped it with one, but would have had one side up off the deck And so I just said, you know what, I'm just going to double tarp it. Just save me the headache of worrying about salt and stuff getting underneath that tarp if there's moisture on the road and stuff like that, picking up the salt from the tires and stuff. So, but I keep all my neon green ones that I collect. I mean, it's just, the neon green ones, I mean, they're easier to wear than just a safety vest when you go into some facilities. So, like, I keep some of the old company shirts from where I've worked. Um, just, kind of like souvenirs too, as well. So, but, this week, so, I've done right at $1,000 in fuel this week, but I've also, you know, did like northeast up in the hills, coming from the northeast back down here. It's just when you get in the hills, I mean, you burn fuel, and these big trucks, they like to drink. Fuel prices everywhere. It's just, I try and stretch my fuel as far as I can get it. Like I got fuel this morning just west of Nashville where it was $2.85 a gallon, but I couldn't make it to Jackson, Tennessee, where I wanted to fuel at, because it was well over 100 miles away, and I couldn't make it over there because I didn't have enough fuel in the tanks. So I had to fuel plus DEF and all that. And so yeah, it just sucks. Last week I did 1,300 in fuel, but I fueled before I left Tulsa, Oklahoma. Fueled in Ohio. Fueled in Pennsylvania. Dropped in Ohio. Fueled back up in Ohio. Went back into Pennsylvania, and drove all the way down. Doing good. Courtney's doing good. Courtney's happy, but she's not too pleased with the last 2 weeks. Dan, you parked yet? Who all do we got in here besides Dave and Courtney and Dan? I see a fourth person up there. Who we got? I'm going to start doing that, making you guys say hello to me when y'all come in here. Put in big parentheses. Make sure you say hello if you join this. Oh, okay. Yeah. Might be. I don't think so. Well, actually, it might be. Smart ass. Dave, you're a smart ass. I'm going to let you know that right now. Come on, Dan, hurry up. Get parked. 6 miles. You should have been done with that a long time ago. I mean, Dan's not a superstar like me when I pull into a truck stop and just whip it around and back it into a spot wherever I want. I'm waiting on the FU message. I'm waiting on that FU message. Yeah. Trucker cowboy? What are you talking about? I ain't no trucker cowboy. I'm really trying to wait on Dan to get parked, because me and him got some stuff I want to talk. Because because I talked to him today about some stuff I wanted to talk about, and told him, jump on YouTube with me tonight. I'll do a live stream. He can do a live stream, and we'll both talk about it in the chat. Honestly, dude, no. I really don't like the KW, not the T680. I'd rather drive a 579 than drive this truck. And that's saying something. I'd rather drive a 579 than to drive this. Because in this truck, steel. Here, I'll show you guys. This is the seat all the way back, and that's how bent my legs are. I don't like that. See? Oh yeah, there's a ton of room in them, in the back and in the cab, but I like that button. Set my seat where I want it, hit the button, it'll hit the floor, hit it again, and it'll raise it back up. As long as it's got some weight in the seat, it'll stay raised. If it doesn't have any weight in the seat, it'll do this number. Hang on. And then that's one thing I like about this seat. Oh, the drivability is great on this truck. I can make tighter turns in this truck than I could with my Kiwi truck, my 388, my 379. It is a lot easier to get in and out of, but I do miss seeing dual chrome stacks on the side of the truck. That is one thing I miss. It's seeing the dang shiny exhaust stack shields and the exhaust and the mirrors, and having that handle so you got 2 points of contact, one on the outside of the door and then one on the inside of the door. But some of the things that I miss about some of the other trucks that I've drove are more like appearance type deals. It's not a big deal to me to not have them, but I'd like to have them again in the future on a truck. It's just having a real nice shiny truck is just not in the cards. Like, I could doll this one up and make her look good, but I'm not going to waste my money on this. And that's what I'm using this truck for. I'm not going to doll it up. I'm not going to light it up. I'm going to wait until I get my truck, the one that I want, to do all that. None of the parts and stuff that I had on my Kiwi truck is going on this truck. My hub covers are not going on here. My lug covers are not going on here. My antennas are not going on here for the CB. My chrome weights for the mud flaps are not going on here that I bought for the Kiwi truck that I just didn't ever install. Oh, so that was you jumping in and out of service. Are you over there in Shreveport yet? Yeah, we got 3 people steadily watching. It is a party. I remember when I had 8 people in here at one time. I felt loved then. Dude, Dan, you're only 30 miles north of me, dude. Come down here where I'm at. Dan, you're in Texarkana. I'm in Lind, man. Do you want me to post up Google Maps of how far it is between me and you right now? I'm pretty sure Courtney could figure out how to do that. If I gave her my account password and everything for freaking my YouTube channel. You can kiss my I want a steak. What the hell's a devil head for? It's like a smiley face with horns. Alright, Trucker Dan. Oh, she does, but she never uses it. Because she doesn't have to get on it, and she doesn't have to go around checking up on me because she knows I'm not going to go do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. She has my password to everything, and hell, she's even got my debit card PIN number. I mean, if she needs my debit card one day to go get some stuff, all she's got to do is go in my wallet, grab my debit card, and go take it and do whatever she needs to do. You know, I mean, that's how much we trust each other. I mean, ain't like she's going out and withdrawing $1,000 and going. Well, sorry, YouTube tried to close on me. All right, so, but yeah, like I was saying, it ain't like she's going out and withdrawing $1,000 and going and giving it to the homeless guy standing there on the corner. Yeah, she took my man card a long time ago. I think she got that one when on our first date. Yeah, she got my man card on our first date. She figured out how much of a teddy bear I am on the first date. I am an ass too. And I will admit, you meet me in person and never know who I am, I'm a total dick to you. Unless you're a customer or that I'm delivering to or a shipper. Other than that, you could be you could be a trucker in a truck stop. I won't say one word to you until I'm acknowledged. And if it ain't a good word that you say to me, I'll just tell you where to go stick it. What are you talking about, Courtney? I don't know what you're talking about. You got me lost here. I'm lost in the sauce. I don't know what you're trying to say. All right, it's showing we got 6 people in here. So who's the 6 of the people? Focus, camera. Dave, you are very white. Because I guarantee you, if I would have asked one of my TMC buddies that was in the area that was passing through to do that, they wouldn't do that. Except for one person I know. His wife and him, they love me to death. But here lately, we just ain't talked as much as we used to. We used to talk every single day to them. Now we're lucky to talk once every 2 weeks. Who's the 6 of the 6 that we got here? I know we got Courtney, Dave, and Dan. Who's the other 3? I'm curious now. Y'all got my ears perked up. All right, let's get this Q&A session going here. I feel popular, but the showing we got 6 people, but I ain't seeing 6 people commenting here. Let me get a thumbs up here. Come on. Or I'll just smoke another cigarette and BS again. What all was that BS that's been going on your YouTube channel, dude? Go on and tell me. Just really depends on the day, man. Depends on how hard I'm trying to push, dude. Sometimes I'll drive all the way until I got 1 hour left on the 8-hour clock before I gotta take a 30-minute break. Like I said, it depends on the day, how hard I'm pushing, which cities I'm going through, stuff like that. Like if I'm coming from Indiana down, what is that, 55 down to St. Louis, or 57, I'll drive almost my entire 8-hour clock through to get through St. Louis before I take a 30-minute break. Just because I don't like getting caught in St. Louis traffic. Because it could take you a couple hours to get through St. Louis if you don't hit it at the right time. But most of the time, I through my day, the first part of my day. If I'm still tired, I go in the back and I go to sleep. Down the road I go. That's the way I run. And you shouldn't ever let a dispatcher tell you, oh, well, that load's got to be there. I don't care if it's on an on-ramp. You go to sleep. Ain't no load worth your freaking life. And I'll keep saying that. I've had dispatch do that to me before. Over there at TMC one time. I think it was night dispatch. Load's got to be delivered tomorrow. If you hurry up, you can get 4 hours of sleep. Because I got delayed at a shipper right down the road. Sat there all day, run my 14-hour clock out sitting there. So I went up the road to a Home Depot and parked. Luckily enough, I was able to sneak down the road without starting my clock. But, yeah, I mean, like, if a load pays really good and you can't afford to have it on your truck more than a couple days, I mean, sometimes you got to bite the bullet and do it. If a load pays crap and it really shouldn't be on your truck more than a day, sometimes you got to bite the bullet and do it. But like I always say, a load ain't worth your life. If you feel like that you can't drive, you shouldn't be on. I knew when I started that clock, I was committed. And if I needed to stop, I could. And a lot of times when stuff like that would happen to me, I'd go ahead, start the clock, drive, get down the road where I can take my 30-minute break, sleep for an hour, drive some more if I got tired, pull off the road, sleep a little bit more, keep driving. And TMC used to never say anything to me about that stuff. There was one time though, I pulled over and was intending on an hour nap and took a 2.5 hour nap. But it was the best 2.5 hour nap I had ever had. Got back on the road, kept on rolling. Sometimes, playing it safe and doing it the right way is better than. My grandpa said, hopefully one of these days they'll bring back that 5 rule, where you drive for 5 hours, you sleep for 5 hours, and drive for 5 more. He said he used to run like that. He used to make a lot of money running like that. But there's rumor running around right now that DOT is talking about getting rid of the 30-minute break and doing like a 3-hour rule on your clock, which would be nice. So like, you're driving down the road, you get tired, you want to take a nap, you got 3 hours. Get you some sleep in. I was hearing rumors about that at TMC, and then I heard about it again when I came to Carrier One, which I really would love to see them do that 3-hour rule, because that would make it a lot easier on some of us where we work, weird hours from one week. Like, you'll never load at night on the flatbed, hardly ever. And there's rare occasions that you do, or you'll unload at night sometimes. So like that 3-hour nap that you can take, let's say that 3-hour rule comes in, when, you're literally 20 minutes down the road from your stop, but you only got 2 hours left on your clock that you can drive. That 3-hour rule would be great for that, because some places don't let you park on the facility. So that would work out great for some people. In certain situations, it would actually be a benefit to have. So hopefully they actually do it. I doubt it, but hopefully. The trucking industry, people don't band together like they used to. It's my grandfather told me, he said, back when I was driving, it used to be a real strong brotherhood and sisterhood bond out here. He said anymore it's just to defend for yourself, and there ain't real much else you can do. Everybody's against one another. It's kill or it's feast or famine out here, basically. Let some of this smoke get out of the truck, and then I'll roll that window up. But so how's everybody's night going out there? Did you post it on that video there, Trucker Dan, about them saying something about your wife and stuff like that, dude? I mean, in my honest opinion, that's low and that's cowardly. You ain't man enough to say it to somebody's face. That's pretty low and cowardly. Just like whoever it is that's trolling me, I don't know who it is exactly, but they're always talking about my wife and calling me a POS and all that piece of crap father and stuff. So I mean, I don't want that kind of stuff on my YouTube channel either. And I got a pretty good idea. It's probably the people that are messing with you that are messing with me. And they put her foot down and say, hey, look, no, you ain't gonna do this. I guarantee you, if those two guys would run into you at a truck stop, they wouldn't act all big and bad to you in a truck stop. They'd act like your best friend. But then they come out here on YouTube and then they got nothing else better to do other than trash talk you. I mean, that's the way it is. You know, if somebody's that miserable with their life that they got to put somebody else down to make them feel good about themselves, or if they think it's funny to put somebody else down to try and bring them down to their level, that's just a coward move, and that's just a little freaking, how can I say it politically correctly? That's just somebody being a teenage bitch hiding behind a phone screen with a little keyboard or hiding behind a computer screen with a keyboard. That's all it is. And I will be the first one to call one out on it. That's just like half these guys on the CB. You know, I'll call them on their bluffs. There was one guy when I worked for TMC. He got to cussing me because, you know, TMC trucks are 62-mile-an-hour trucks. Well, I tried to radio him. He was an Old Dominion driver. I was coming across Kansas going, no, I think it was Missouri, going to Joplin, to Tamco, to pick up a load of shingles. And he told me over to CB, if I couldn't, opinions differ. I said, you got to remember, you started from somewhere too. I said, you ain't going much faster than me because you're only doing 65 mile an hour. I said, but you make more money than me. What's the difference? I said, ain't really much. I'm an over-the-road guy. You're a freaking day cab driver that's home every night. Ain't really much difference between the two of us. We do the same job every single day. We both have a Class A CDL. I said, I do flatbed, you do whatever you guys do. You know, I don't know nothing about Old Dominion. I don't know what they haul. You know, but I said, you know, there's a Walmart coming up right here up the road here. We can pull it in. Said, let's go. And I said, all right. Hey, you know, a man willing to fight somebody on the road because, you know, they don't like how fast they're going. I guarantee you the dude wouldn't have never got out of his truck and tried to whip my ass. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I ain't never had my ass whooped and ain't going to. I'm just saying. Ain't nobody been man enough to whip my ass yet. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, like, you know, people talk trash to you on the radio. Like, if you tell a driver, you know, hey, man, you clear, you got the job done, you can get on over now, you done passing me. Sometimes the driver will come back on the radio and yell, fuck you. I'll come over when I want to. Just to start an argument. Well, I can say that. I asked him, I said, who pissed in your cornflakes this morning? He said, nobody. I don't like to be told what to do. I said, I wasn't telling you what to do. I said, I'm driving a 62-mile-an-hour truck. You're going to pass me no anyways. And he said, yeah, you got a point. I said, and it's because of drivers like you that make me really wish that I wasn't, you know, a truck driver, that I was smart enough to go back to college and get a degree in something. You know, I told him, I said, you know what? I'm getting off the interstate right here in a couple miles. You can take that exit right there in front of you and follow me to Insteel Wire. I said, we can sell this like two grown walking to me. And the driver kept on going. You know, because they're, again, hiding behind the CB mic. You know, you got people like that. But they're man enough to say something to you say something about you behind your back. They ain't man enough to say it to your face. That's just cowards. People saying an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Yeah. Let somebody say something about my family and actually, harm them in any way. You know, somebody call my company and say I'm putting vulgar stuff on YouTube like some people do. I mean, it's out there, guys. That's why you guys don't see me on YouTube all that much anymore. Because, Trucker Dan, are you still with us? Anybody else got any questions for me? We're still doing a Q&A. It's just we doing a Q&A plus talking about what all was going on between me and Trucker Dan as well. People are slandering both mine and his family, talking about me, my wife, calling her a whore, calling his wife a whore and stuff like that. I mean, I don't take too kindly to somebody calling one of my friends, causing problems between one of my friends and his family. And I damn sure don't take too kindly to it being thrown right at me either. Even though me and Trucker Dan have not met face to face, me and him are, brothers because we haul flatbed together. Flatbedders, we stick together. We keep each other's, backs. I mean, you see one flatbedder out there in a truck stop, he might be retarping his load and struggling with it because it's windy or something. Another flatbedder will go help him because they know what the struggle's like. They know, it ain't easy slinging them tarps. That's part of the reason why, like people ask me to give up. Yep, same guys. And that's the reason why I say I got Trucker Dan's back. A lot of people, including Courtney, wants me to give up flatbed. They say I work too hard for what I make. Okay, yeah, I can agree with you. Heavily. I consider myself overweight because I'm starting to get a beer gut. Okay? But I'm not heavily overweight. I get my exercise every day. Dealing with those tarps. In the wintertime, I put on weight. In the summertime, I sweat it out. I'll lose weight. I fluctuate between 159 and 190 pounds. During the wintertime, I'm 190 pounds, give or take a few. In the summertime, I'm between 160 and you're going to sweat. You're going to sweat a lot. And that's the reason why I still do it. Effort that it takes to do it. I like taking pride in my job. Some people don't like to work. I like to work. I like to feel like I've done something at the end of the day. I don't think I can get that same feeling slinging doors. No offense to anybody that does it. I'm pretty sure Trucker Dan can agree with me on that. Swinging doors don't get the same satisfaction as a job well done as if you tarp and secured that load yourself. And believe it or not, flatbedders, the only time we ever slow down is during the wintertime. And it's not a major slowdown for some. Like me, I haven't slowed down a bit. Even changing companies, my freight hasn't slowed down. The only difference is that it might take a little bit longer to get a better paying load. The load rates suck a little bit more in the wintertime. Whereas in the springtime and the summertime, the rates are up because everything's being you'll see more flatbeds in the summertime running harder and later into the nights because the freight's paying more, and the faster you get it off the truck to get another load. Um, eventually one of these days I'm gonna find me a nice freight lane that I can run dedicated in and still make a ton of money. What I'm looking at right now is trying to get loads dedicated. Run up to Tulsa after home time, pick up a load out of Tulsa, run to Chicago. Pick up a load from Texas, run back to Chicago. Do something like that every week. All week long, every day of the week. Running back and forth. So that way I can be through the house at least once a week if I wanted to. Or find a dedicated lane where I'm going from Oklahoma to Minnesota and back every week. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Where I'm at least through the house at least once or twice a week. Eventually, that's what I want to do. I don't know about Trucker Dan there, but, eventually figured out what I need to save after I pay a truck off and get the truck that I want paid for, how much I'm going to have to save over the course of 20 years so when I retire, I won't have to work another day of my life. And I've done figured out how much I need to save. And I can live off the interest of that money that I save in 20 years. I did the math. At $1,500 a week, and you do that every week for 4 weeks of the month, $1,500 a week, that's, $6,000 a month, times that by 12, times that by 20, and that's 1.4, simple math. If you set yourself up right and invest properly, you could actually save that kind of money, plus, live off of your investments and stuff like that as well. And never have to worry, and never have to work another day of your life. See, my goal is to retire and live comfortably from the trucking industry. From the work and the effort that I put into it, and a lot of you guys out there can agree that I put way more into it than I get out of it sometimes. Who all do we still got with us here? It's only showing that I got 2 viewers. Trucker Dan, are you still with us there? Courtney, are you still with us? Dave, are you still with us? I'm just going to go down the list. But yeah, Dave, those guys that are still messing with me. Let's see. I started 4 months ago. Because I left TMC on around the 1st of August. And then I left Kiwi after they fired me on November 30th and applied here. And then was on a train that next weekend up here up to Alsip, Illinois. Pepsi don't taste as good as Dr. Pepper. But all right, guys. Since there's not a whole lot of activity in here right now, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. It's already over an hour and 6 minutes long. You guys stay safe out there. Remember, watch what you do around a truck. Keep the shiny side up, the greasy side down, and we gone. 10-4.